People are living their habits. People are living their patterns. People are living their tendencies. And many of those habits, tendencies, patternings are crucifying them, are not bringing about real happiness into their lives. They see that what they're doing is not good, but they cannot stop. We become addicted, whether they're good or bad habits. We become addicted to our habits and tendencies and patternings. Take a musician, or take someone who's been playing the piano for years and years and years, and he continues to make the same mistakes. Doesn't progress. Consider your driving. Is it really good driving? We need teachers, especially teachers of enlightenment, to awaken us out of these unhappy habits and tendencies and patternings that we continue to regurgitate, not just in our own lives, but from lifetimes previous, thousands of years of the same ridiculousness. Ever since, if you like, Adam and Eve eating the apple. Sin. Do you know what sin is? It's been mistakenly to be believed that sin is an action. Murder. Being a thief. Stealing. Adultery. Etc. in the Ten Commandments. But sin, the real meaning of sin, is separation from already happiness, which is God. Sin is separation from God. And God is our true state, a true disposition of love, happiness, joy, delight. It's what I refer to as the open hand disposition. Sin is strangulation of that. Here it is, I'm strangling it. It's called the self-contraction, which we do internally, pondering on ourselves, being narcissistic all the time. Anxious. Why be anxious? Why do we get anxious? Because we've got an image to uphold. Because we want to be liked. We don't want to do anything wrong. That's why we get anxious, apparently, but it's due to the self-contraction. Due to the self-contraction, we live in fear of what the other might think of us, in fear of what the other might do to us. The other can be anyone, members of our own family or others, businesses, the government, royalty, the gas board, the utility boards. These are all others. We're fearful of them all, of what they might do if we don't go along with the rules and regulations. I'm not saying we mustn't go along with the rules and regulations, but we can do it from a happy, fearless disposition. There's lots of things we cannot change. We just have to accept. Though you've got your broadband and then you get a letter saying, this is a better broadband, change. You've got your gas supply or electric supply, get a letter set in the post. How much are you paying? Oh, we can do better than that. Living in fear all the time. The true adult is mature. The true adult is awake. The true adult is enlightened, has been enlightened to his or her ridiculous, what I call first birth stuff, as Jesus said. You've got to be born again of the Spirit. The spiritual life, the true spiritual life, is one where the body mind is full of energy and life and happiness, no matter what. Because that's the inherent, innate state, which is intuitively known to be the case. My teacher, Adidar Samraj, will re-educate you and liberate you from this nonsense. If you only would listen. There are other teachers out there who will help, but we need to be taught. We need to know a way out of our drudgery, of our complacency, of our intolerance, out of our unlove, out of our fearfulness. We should be living a life of fearlessness, anxiousness, sinlessness. I don't like the word sin because it's got so many connotations. I don't even like the word God because that's got so many connotations. Real God is this. The spirits, the fruits of real God is love, happiness, joy, delight, already forgiveness, already cooperativeness. You haven't got to, you just do it all automatically. It's inherent. Do you know the word inherent? It's like wetness is the inherent quality of water. Let's find a little bit of Adidas teachings. Here's a little book called The God in Everybody book. Belief systems. If you continue living on belief, you're not going to grow. You're not going to mature. Religions are all based on beliefs. It's all about surrendering this. He says the self, i.e. the body mind, is such a heavy grip, such a clench on the light, that spiritual experience through spiritual transmission in life does not amount to much for most people. They cannot make it part of their existence. Most people hardly ever feel the great force of real God that pervades the universe. if you could locate it, you would locate absolute bliss. I have always received the divine spirit. I have always loved it. I have no resistance to God, but you do. It's this mechanism, this self-contraction. Everyone's doing it. It is not the fact that you are born and living as a human being that makes you unhappy. You see, we've got this idea that I make you unhappy, or someone makes you unhappy, or someone makes you happy. Both sides of the same coin. No one has ever made you happy. You are either happy or you are not. And no one has ever made you unhappy. Take responsibility for your own body and realize that you can be already happy right now, because that's the true nature, which is God, the divine nature of the human being. You've got to taste God. This is a wonderful book. Scientific proof of the existence of God will soon be announced by the White House. What a title. We've got to outgrow our childishness, and to believe in any religion that's going to save you is childish. Like believing in Santa Claus. Grow up and take responsibility. The body-mind is an abundance of energy if it's not contracted upon. Do you understand? It's like a hose pipe. You pinch there's a kink in the hose pipe, water will stop flowing through. You don't have to go to the tap to investigate. You see the kink. You just simply unkink the hose pipe. But that's what's happening in the body-mind. We're kinking the body-mind. We're kinking God. We're strangling the God spirit, the God essence. Excuse me. Can you imagine Delia Smith and Mary Berry being at war with one another? My recipe for Victoria Sponge is better than your recipe for Victoria Sponge. No, it's not my recipe. They'd be at war with one another. That's what's happening with religions. A religion is just a set of beliefs. It's a recipe. My recipe is better than your recipe. Absolute balls. They say if it works for you, it works for you. That's not the case. You're fighting, you're at war with menus, you're at war, you're against one another's recipes. And you're not happy anyway. It's just arrogance. It's just naivety, ignorance. The sun is always there, even if the clouds are in front. The sun is for everybody. It's light. God is light and happiness and joy. The fruits of the Spirit. It's a loudness. One can be angry, but it's a pleasant anger. It's a real anger. It's a, don't do that, or I've told you not to do that. Because it's love. It's coming from love. It's coming from See, people don't like what's known as the father force. Most adults have not really had the father force in their lives, where they are drawn out of limitations. They're given a bit of a kick up the backside to go beyond themselves. Because God is all powerful. I've grown, this body mind has grown considerably because of the practice of self-forgetting, me remembering. Don't dwell on yourself. That's narcissistic nonsense. Doesn't get you anywhere. Like trying to work things out. You just can't. No one's right. No one's a winner in God. If you like, we're all winners. We're all rights. Excuse me. Experience and knowledge are forms of our conventional or ordinary self-fulfillment. There's egoic self-fulfillment. It creates power and gives you an image and gives you a position in life. They are not, however, in general to be avoided, since they belong to the appropriate stages of our developmental growth. However, we must likewise grow in the more primary sense in wisdom, love, and spiritual maturity. Experience and knowledge in themselves contribute to our sense of independence, and they effectively separate us from the processes, relations, beings, or objects by which they are generated. But wisdom, love, or spiritual awakening establishes us again in sublime continuity with all beings, things, processes, and their single mystery. Now, you see, knowledge is useful, of course it's useful, and experience is useful, it's important, but they aren't the end and end all. I know best. I know best. No, you know best. No, you don't know best. I know best. The war of knowledge. The war of experience. Yes, but I'm older. I've experienced more than you. In and of themselves, that's fine. But to take on this egoic possession of it all, I know best attitude, arrogance and all that, it's not good. You see, it comes from God. True knowledge comes from God. It's inherent. So it's realizing that it's happening, it's arising in this disposition of love, happiness, and joy, the spiritual disposition. We don't own anything, you see, not even knowledge. We all know 2 and 2 equals 4, but 2 and 2 can equal 5 quite easily. 2 and 2 can equal anything, any number. How? Well, 2 ones plus 2 ones is 4 ones. We all know that. But 2 ones and 2 1.5s equal 5. You see? So 2 halves, let's go, 2 quarters and 2 quarters equal 1. So you divide the orange into 4 quarters, you've got 2 quarters and 2 quarters, you've got 4 quarters, which equal 1 orange. But what if you have 2 quarters on this side and 4 quarters on that side? You've got 1.5 oranges. That wasn't a very good example. That's 2 1s and 2 1.5s. But you see, knowledge gives us power in life. I know so much now. I'm a teacher, and I should be respected. I'm your teacher. My mother used to say, I'm your mother, you should respect me. I'm your mother. I know best. If I can't do it, you won't be able to do it. I'm superior, you're inferior. The God place is universal. The God space is accessible to everyone. And then it's a joy to be alive. Absolute, utter joy. No beliefs are necessary. You just live on faith. You have faith that the door will open. You have faith that the cup, the handle on the cup, will remain on the cup while you're drinking. We have faith. We work. We live in faith. It's a mystery. Mystery of life. It's a joy to be alive. Yes, so when I pick up the cup, you don't have to think about it. But you have faith. You often go to your phone and you'll find, oh no, it needs charging. On the whole, you go to the phone and you have faith that it's going to be charged up. So then everything becomes the play of God. It's a happy play. Nothing will work out as you really do it, as you expect. Expectations are full of disappointments. It's the law of conditional existence. So embrace all of happenings. Embrace the cold and the heat. Embrace all of duality, the ups and the downs. All part of and parcel of God's play, the divine play. Look up Adidar Samwad, read his teachings. Adidar Samwad.